I'm Mac Whaley. I'm senior here at Cotter. I'm sitting with Brian Verding and Dr. Scott Olson. Thank you both for joining us today. You're here with the Engage Winona project. Can you talk a little bit about how this came together and what the goals of Engage Winona are for the community?
This is a project that came together through the work at a Blandon Foundation, which is a northern Minnesota foundation that really kind of cultivates and builds capacity in rural communities. So it's only open to smaller cities. And so they train community leaders through this week-long program. And they brought together a group of folks and said, we would really like you to do a project where you ask the community about a really pressing issue. And we found that the challenge and the opportunity was there wasn't one single issue we wanted to talk about. So we instead decided, let's ask people about the future of Winona. And let's not just open the doors in some building somewhere and say, please come and tell us about the future of Winona, but let's really go out into the community and really talk with a lot of different folks who we know may not show up, who may feel disenfranchised or disempowered, or for that matter, have never really been asked their opinion on, what do you think would make Winona better? But that's really what we're after, and so we're holding a number of smaller conversations and a big day-long conversation on April 19th. And from there, we're going to crunch the numbers, and we expect we'll be both surprised and maybe not surprised by some of the themes that emerge and the projects that emerge, and from there, we're going to kind of create new groups of people around these really pressing issues and hopefully create some change.
The group that we're a part of represents like all sectors of Winona. So we've got folks who own small businesses, we've got folks from government, we've got folks from the legal area, from workforce development, the chamber, the media, education, the clergy. So it really is a very broad-based group, and we want to hear all those different voices. Can we come up with a short list of things that people really would love to imagine as the future of Winona? Because if we can do that, we can actually make that happen. Then the whole community will feel good about it, and we're heading in a clear direction.
Take me through just a quick process of how one of these conversations would go.
Maybe the best way to talk about that is with the big event we're having on April 19th. We're doing what's sort of called a World Cafe format, and we'll have 50, 60 people in a room seated around round tables who many of them will not know each other, will come from very different perspectives. We'll ask them the 3 questions about what they would like to see in the future of Winona, things that they like, things they might not like so much. They talk for 20 minutes. And the great thing is that we encourage them to get up and move past their Midwest fear of greeting new strangers and talking about their feelings. And so they'll get up and sit down at different tables, and they'll get to meet new people. And we think that, the really beautiful thing about this is
your big vision for the future that we'll talk about our feelings? That's the big future for Winona?
Yes, okay, in Winona, we'll talk about our feelings, yes. Yeah.
I feel very warm to you that's your idea. I think that's it. Okay, sorry.
And the cool thing about these conversations is that as when you put 5, 6 people in a room and just give them a topic to talk about, what comes out is very different than what anybody expected. And people play off each other's ideas, they come up with new ideas. And then with all of that together, we'll find that short list of 3 to 5 projects. And then on top of that, we know that there are people that if we just said, come have a conversation, come talk about your feelings, they won't come. They won't come because they won't hear about it. They won't come because there are language barriers, transportation barriers, because they don't feel valued in the community. And so that's why prior to this April 19th, we're really taking the time to go out and to say, we value your opinion, we want to hear what you think. Tell us here in this safe space, and then if you feel comfortable, come on April 19th.
And in the case of students, it may be that those 3 that we're doing on April 19th, for 2 of them, you'll be in class, and for the 3rd, you might have after-school activities or sporting events. So we're reaching out, in this case, to Cotter students to make sure your voice gets heard.
How many of these conversations have you had, and how many do you think you're going to be able to fit in before the April 19th event?
As many as possible.
Good.
And keeping in mind that we're all volunteers and that we all have day jobs that we're doing aside from this. This is the 8th or the 9th that we've done in the past few weeks. Before April 19th, we'll have done at least 15 to 16. With hopes that it'll be a little closer to 20. And then if some residuals come out of that, maybe somebody who represents a nonprofit comes on April 19th and is so moved and says, I would love to have you do this with 10 folks. We'll certainly then take another couple weeks to do more of those.
That folks really believe in Winona. We love this place, and we want to make sure that as we move Winona forward, that all the voices are being heard. Everybody has that passion. Everybody loves Winona. The question is, how do we make it even better?
Where do we go from, what road are we taking after April 19th?
I like that you said, what road are we taking? Because that's really how we like to frame it. What we really see coming out of this already in these conversations is kind of two tracks. One is that people are talking about higher level themes. You know, boy, it'd be really great to revitalize downtown, or boy, it'd be really great to do this larger. And then on the flip side, people have very specific ideas for projects. Boy, wouldn't it be great to have a stop sign here? Or boy, wouldn't it be great to not, we heard it'd be great to not have any stop signs. That one may be a little less doable. Well, no. And so what we've been doing, even...
I just flashed a movie titled Mad Max Sarnia Road or something like that. Just a thought.
Anarchy in Winona, that's where we're headed. You know, and so we see that as two tracks. And one thing we've been doing behind the scenes is really kind of collaborating and aligning ourselves with a lot of community leadership already. There's a lot of folks, we've gone out of our way to make sure folks know what we're up to, they're very interested in it, that they're along with the process. And so there's some projects that we think we can, you know, if we hear some street improvement things, we can take that to the city within days of being done with the conversation. And then in the meantime, you know, we hear that something about downtown, then we can kind of create these larger groups to kind of just basically can continue the kind of discussion in a more focused way like we already have.
Sometimes communities, out of processes like this, they might develop a community-wide strategic plan. You know, as we envision Winona 2030, you know, these are the things we want to build toward, whatever those things might be. And then, you know, you sort of have a lot of community conversations about those so that folks kind of rally around them, and then you can make them happen. You know, if folks kind of share a vision, there's lots of ways to make it happen.
Either one of you have any additional comments?
I would just say thank you, Cotter, and thank you, Cotter students, for being a part of this process. You know, what you had to contribute was really valuable, so thank you.
Yep. That's what engagement on is really all about, that we welcome everybody to the table and everybody should feel that they can join us in the process and the work.